Okay, so this is my first progress video of going through Charlie Morgan's Imperium Academy. I've just started week 1 and I finished 3 videos. I've also finished the last one, which I've not ticked here, about grade A selection. Okay, so that's good. I'm 3 videos through and I've actually learned a lot of stuff, especially on how to think like a businessman. So I always wanted to go into a service-based business. So what I'm doing now is that I have my main, I don't know why my face is suddenly so big, but I have one main Google document where I'll be making all my notes and doing the work as needed. So I have all my action items here. I'm doing them, ticking them off as I go. So I've done the main axioms. I've done six-figure fusion, and I've just completed this today. And I've spent a lot of time on this because, as you know, we had to do these 2 documents, which is understanding yourself and ultimately the niche selection process. So what have I learned? So I've learned that financial transactions only occur when value is created. And how is value created? So this is the main part, essentially the main content for the first week, is that financial transactions occur when value is created. And how is value created? When pain is alleviated. Pain is only alleviated when problems are solved, and problems are solved with a solution. And how does the solution come about? A solution is made with critical information, the right type of information. And our job as consultants or marketing agencies is going to be finding and then applying this critical information for our niche and for our client. And this was a very interesting analogy because I think me and a lot of people are focused on finding the right business model. They focus on finding a solution first before they have the problem. But it's actually the other way around. You first have to find the solution. Sorry, you first have to find the problem and then find a solution to the problem, because without the problem, there can be no solution. It's just like a key and a lock. A key is made to fit the lock. A solution is made to fit the problem. Without the lock, you can't make a key. You don't know what pins, you don't know what size the pins are, you don't know how you have to engineer the key in order to be able to lift up those pins and then turn the key and open the lock. And then I think the main thing that I took away from this, which was also in the next module that I'll come to right now, is not only is consistency important, but consistency is also important on the right actions. So for this business, booking sales appointments and closing sales appointments is going to be the main feeder action. And talking about feeder actions, this is what Charlie talked about in six-figure fusion. So first, he talks about is it 4 or there's 5 foundations. So there's a niche. These are going to be the people that you'll be targeting, and that's the video that I worked on all day today. Then it's going to be the problem. What are the specific problems that you're going to be solving for that niche? And then what is the solution? What is the manifestation of the application that you're going to provide with the critical information to the problem? Second to last is going to be the result. What is the result you're going to be providing? And it's not going to be binary. You're going to be providing a result and you're not going to be providing a result. It's going to be on a continuum. It's going to be how weak of or how strong of a result you're going to be providing. And then last is the offer. This was really, really interesting because many people just talk about the offer, but they don't really talk about how it's supposed to be crafted, essentially. This is where a bit of my copywriting knowledge also came into play. Essentially how you package and position everything that we've talked about so far. So which is going to be the niche, the problem, solution, and the result. And that in itself makes the offer. And that's going to be essentially our equation to success, right? And then this is going to be how we're going to get there, the consulting equation. The first was the consulting hypothesis, and then it's the consulting equation, which has to do with us, right? It has to do with us. It's going to be our current situation and a consulting hypothesis, our plan, action, knowledge, character, time, and desired situation, all packaged into one. But the main thing, the exponent here, is the time. You can't control time. Time is not days, week, month. Okay, so before I got rudely interrupted by Liam because of his 5-minute limit, as I was saying, a big factor here is going to be time, because as we know, time is not days, months, weeks, or years. That's just how we measure it. Time is actually just a series of events, and time and effect are exponential. As more time goes on, the effect of our actions start to exponentially grow in relation to each other. They're exponential. Just like how Warren Buffett says that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. This is going to be the same for our actions. We're not going to see, or I'm not going to see results for a long, long time. But as more time goes on, those actions are going to compound these, and then it's going to lead to greater and greater effect. However, the reverse is also true for memory, because with time, as our effect exponentially increases, with time our memory exponentially decreases. And that's why I also set my wallpaper to be like this, just to remember that, hey, I'm supposed to revisit everything that Charlie's teaching us. This is not a one and done thing. That's why I've also set up my calendar to remind me to consume this content every 3 months or so, because we don't know what we don't know, but then we also have to remember what we actually do know, because we don't want to essentially reward the wrong factors for our success. We don't want to reward or think about that. Everything we do is going to come down to luck. And another thing I learned, which I guess was really interesting, was feedback loops, because I remember learning this in science as well, is that positive feedback loops are so important no matter what you want to do. Because the more if you do something, the more of it you'll be able to do. So if you have more money, the more money you will be able to make, and the more money than you do have as a result of that, you'll be able to make more money with that. And the last thing that really, as I was talking about just a minute ago, that really hit home for me are second order consequences. If you do one bad thing, that isn't the only consequence. The consequence of that consequence is also going to have consequences. Hopefully I've said that word enough times. Is that you might think that if you spend an hour before bed scrolling on your phone, that you're just going to be wasting time, but that's just not by it. You're going to be sleeping late. You're probably going to also be waking up late. You're going to be short-circuiting your brain. You're going to be blowing the fuse off your brain, that when you wake up in the morning, you're not going to be as focused as you would like to be. And in this whole diagram of second order consequences that Charlie showed, there are a lot of feeder actions. So these are the main actions that you take that feed or destroy you, essentially. They either take you towards success or away from success, from the baseline. So the feeder actions for us as agency owners, as consultants, is going to be cold outreach every single day. It's going to be painful, but we'll be having to do cold outreach. Of course, I'm assuming that Charlie's going to teach us how to do this, and I already have some information. But then it's not just important to identify the thing I should be doing. I also need to identify the things I should not be doing. That is probably more important than identifying the things I should be doing, I should be focusing on. So I should not be doom scrolling. I did not doom scroll at all today. I know for the past month I've been in my bed every single day doom scrolling, but I took the initiative to not spend more than 10 minutes on my phone, especially in a single session. And I've written this here in big words. Consistency is the key to success. I've been trying to succeed for a long time. I've been trying for nearly 2 years now. I've had some successful ventures, not a lot, but I was stuck in the information phase, analysis paralysis. It's not just going to be consistency or trying to become an expert that's going to lead us to financial freedom, whatever freedom that we want. It's also going to be the consistency for the right feeder actions, cold outreach, booking sales appointments, taking sales appointments. That kind of scares me, if I'm being honest, but you have to do what you have to do. And then lastly, before my time limit runs out, which is just 40 seconds, this took a lot of, I guess, convincing myself to get the hang of that. I only need to pick one in niche. First, I was thinking about, should I pick a very small niche or sub niche? But as Charlie went through the lecture, when I said the module, it became clear that I don't need to pick like one very specific sub niche. I can pick a big umbrella, and essentially what I've been working on here. So as I was saying again, I got caught up again. I think I'm rambling on too much. I'm giving up too much source on what's in Charlie's program. But then with time I'll improve. I know what I want to do, what kind of videos I actually want to make. So given everything I know about myself and all the interests I have, these are a few of the niches that I came up with. If you want to copy them, go ahead. If you want to do your own thing, I commend you for that. Let's not be a copycat. That's the main thing that Charlie said. Let's not be a copycat. I'm probably going to sleep on the few niches that I have, because a lot of them are in similar, I guess niches are in similar niches or similar industries. I'll sleep on it, and then hopefully when I wake up in an hour or two, I'll be able to just decide. I just need to just pick one, and then just decide. I'm not going to pick one. I'm not going to pick two. I'm not going to pick three. I'm going to pick one niche that I'm going to stick with for at least the next year or two, whatever, or until I make 10k a month. That's another thing that Charlie said. Do not switch niches until you have 10k per month. Hopefully, as I sleep on it, as I think, because I like to think when I go to bed as well, that I'll be able to pick something I can align with, something that interests me, something that's also viable. And then after that, we'll move on to the next, which just seems like the next logical move, which is going to be total niche immersion. And I can't do that today because I first need to pick the niche, and then I can go in and immerse myself in the niche. So that's the plan. Here's what the roadmap is going to look like in the future. This is a first rough video that I made with no planning whatsoever. I'm kind of proud of myself how articulate I was, even though it's very late in the night as well. But tomorrow, probably going to post a video. I've picked my niche. I've watched the video. I'm started immersing myself. And then hopefully I have a better idea of what kind of videos I want to post to you. I want to post more of an update style videos, which are 1 minute, 2 minute quick videos, or I actually want to talk about what I've learned. I'm probably going to pick the first, because I don't want to give out too much of Charlie's knowledge and my knowledge. Then yeah, that was it. Rahman here. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening, wherever you guys are. Peace.